Does storage affect your FPS in Fortnite? Well, today we will be finding out that answer. So watch till the end to see the results. Now, before we go into the testing, I want to explain some things. So today I will be testing this out on my M.2 SSD that I have inside my monitor or inside my motherboard. And typically M.2 SSDs are usually faster than other kinds of storage drives like this or like this. Pretty much what I'm saying is the amount of storage you have could affect your FPS, but it also depends on the speed of your SSD. So some SSDs like the one I have is faster. Today we're going to be mainly focusing if the amount of storage on your SSD actually affects your FPS. So let's jump on Fortnite and test it out. As you guys can see now, we are actually on my PC, and my M.2 SSD that I was talking about is actually this one right here. As you can see, I have 88 gigabytes of free storage, which is a pretty good amount. Can't really install Fortnite unless you have more than like 130 gigabytes of storage. I obviously already have it installed. To actually run the game smoothly, Fortnite actually recommends you have about 20 gigabytes of free storage on your drive. So what I want to see is if I fill this up to the max, if it'll make me have less FPS. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna download something. So alright guys, so I went ahead and installed a couple things, and now as you can see, my local disk, which is the disk that I have Fortnite installed on, is now only 10 gigabytes free of the 500 total that it can hold. That gives us a little bit of room for Fortnite to actually run. It's only half of the recommended amount of storage needed to run Fortnite smoothly. Now let's go into Fortnite. First thing I'm gonna do is test it in creative to see what my max FPS is gonna be, and I'm gonna be using the DirectX 12 performance mode, all low settings. And by the way, just ignore the activate Windows watermark. Right now, with only 10 gigabytes free, I'm averaging about 400 FPS, which is actually pretty good. It feels smooth, it's just my ping is very inconsistent for some reason. God damn, dude. Alright, I think central service was just really bugged or something. Because now I have 19 ping. And my game feels smooth, even though I literally have 10 gigabytes of free space left on my storage drive. Which is actually kind of impressive, because I feel like in the past when I started running out of storage, my game has started to lag a lot. But maybe in game it'll be a lot different. This is just creative, so it's pretty easy to run. But yeah, as you can see, the lowest I'm getting is 290, and the highest I'm getting right now is about 500. So if you look up straight at the sky, pretty much get consistent 500. But if I'm moving around, I get a pretty consistent 400. So now I'm gonna go into an actual battle royale game and see what my FPS is like. Now we're in a game. I'm gonna drop that ranges really. The game's actually running kind of smoother than usual, I feel like. I am also recording not on this PC, but I'm getting pretty good FPS right now. Even though my storage drive has literally like not even 10 gigabytes of storage left on it. But maybe if once I make more room, maybe I'll get even more FPS. Because I also did just recently upgrade my PC. So the processor speeds will of course help FPS and whatnot. And also the speed of the SSD. But obviously, if you don't have storage in your SSD, the game's not gonna run very good at all. Most I'm seeing is 170. If it hits 170, it can't go through. But if it hits 170, it doesn't stay at 170. My builds feel pretty quick. Ignore that. I'm not warmed up yet, and I also hate that shock. But my FPS seemed fine, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to really play a whole match anyways, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete as much stuff as I can. See if I can get even more FPS than that, because that was already pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Alrighty, guys. Now, as you can see, I have about 100 gigabytes of free space on my local disk, which is the drive that my Fortnite is on. If you're wondering why I don't have Fortnite on this newer drive that has 240 gigabytes of free space, that is because the speed on this drive is way lower than the speed on this drive. So this drive will technically run games faster because it has a higher read speed than this drive right here. So now we are in creative, and I can already see a difference. I'm getting, like, as you can see, when I first loaded in, I was getting like almost consistent 500 FPS, as you can see, without even looking at the sky. As soon as I start building, it drops below to like high 400s. But it actually does stay above, it actually does hit 500 pretty consistently, as you guys can see. Position. So that is a very immediate difference that I actually was not expecting. That's crazy. 500 FPS is insane. I don't even think your eyes can see that much FPS, but and the crazy part is my monitor is only 165 hertz. So let me know in the comments if I should get a 360 hertz monitor. I'm thinking about it. For the lows, it's looking like 380, 400 for the lows, but for the highs, it's hitting 560. That's the highest I've seen, hitting 560. I'm washed at the game now because it took so long. Just guys, I spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out what to delete, and now I'm not warmed up anymore. So, but at least I'm getting more FPS. And if I look straight at the ceiling, almost like constant 500. It doesn't even go above 4. It doesn't go low. It's not even going below 430. I mean, obviously it'll go under 300 for like a millisecond, but you won't even notice it because your eyes won't even notice it. So, alright, now that we covered that, let's go into a Battle Royale game to see how much that changed. So, see you in the Battle Royale game. Yes, sir! Alright, chat, well, ignore my dog whining in the background, but I got the gun. Haha. Alright, anyways. I'm actually noticing a very big difference between I was on like 280, 290 before. What was I at before, chat? I'm actually getting really consistent, almost consistent 400 FPS at this. Getting like 350. Consistent 350 is where I'm at right now. Which is pretty freaking good. Like, I don't even have a 300 hertz monitor. I don't have a 165 hertz monitor, so pretty good. That's, I mean, I don't even need 300 FPS. Definitely big difference. Off the freaking fuck! Get off! Get off! So overall, I think I would say, does RAM really affect your FPS? Or does your storage really affect your FPS? The answer is definitely. It definitely affects your FPS. If you are running out of storage, it's definitely going to have a huge impact on your FPS. If you have a good processing speeds and stuff, it won't make it'll still be playable, like it won't be bad, but there will definitely be a difference. Like, but if you have lower end parts, you definitely want to make sure you have plenty of storage, because if you run out of storage and you have lower end parts on your PC, you will definitely notice a big difference. I don't have super high end parts, but I definitely don't have low end parts. I'd say they're between mid-range and high range. I don't need this whole game to play. I'm just going to leave that one if I don't, I don't. Excuse me. Takes me above it for that. I don't even know where I'm getting shot from. Yeah, I'm getting off, chat. Alright, chat. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a bunch of gameplay, but at least I showed you guys what you wanted to see. That your storage really does affect your FPS. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to test in the comments below that would affect your FPS. If you want to check out me testing, if more rank gives you more FPS, check up here. If you want to see me testing ping booster apps to give you more ping, click over here. I'll see you guys in the next video.